Hello.
It's me. Panacaro. I say welcome to this streamer. Gotta calibrate animes pretty quickly. A little bit at least. Just a little bit, at least a bit. Just a bit. Give me a second. And there we go, that should be it. Panna trying to do scary again and cracking his voice. Well, that's the usual, isn't it? So, well, Drachwax.
Welcome to the stream.
Yeah, so welcome to the stream. I hope you had a lovely day. I guess? I hope. Give me a second. So... Schaden. Wow. Got this here now. So, yeah, there's that. So the big question... he's smiling again too much. Okay, now I hope this is a little bit better. So, yeah. Yeah. So, we got that now. I hope. Well, no, since school wasted 6 hours of my life for nothing. Even more since I only counted the house and school, not travel time, that is like 3 hours on top of that. Ooh. I mean, so that's just the daily life. That's just how it is. Also, by the way, I wasn't being sorry for not streaming. I was sorry for no progress on the anime tracker. That's why I was sorry. That definitely won't change within the next 1.5 months. So, oh, that isn't really a concern. Oh, okay. So, I have to do something pretty quickly. Move it up. Got to open Bitwarden. Though, I can change the music in the meantime. Let's go with some synthwave again. Or actually... we could just go with that. Oh, we didn't do that for a long time. The question is just how do I arrange things? There is a song we need to all hear, which is like something we always hear, we love to hear, which is a running gag by now, I guess. One specific song, but I cannot find it right now. There it is. That's not what I wanted. Problem is just some songs won't work. Many won't work even. Fuck. Because I don't have SoundCloud Go Plus anymore. Since I still need to learn the 2 languages and I still have other work for me. Like the Factorial project that I have. Ah, okay. There we go. Okay. So I gotta fix something up pretty quickly. Oh, for fuck's sake. For fuck's sake. Oh, come on, Vim. Why are you doing this to me? Okie dokie. I'm nearly done, guys. Okay, that should be it. I always wonder how the fuck does the overloading so quickly explode? Concrim's Self4J. Hi, I wanted to offer promotion of your... Oh. Okay, how does this chat now work? Chat moderation. I mean, it doesn't show me any special things. That's a bit weird. How the fuck? Are you kidding me, Twitch? You can't tell me that you're unoptimized for 4 to 3 monitors, please. Okay, and now how can I get rid of that? Oh, there, mod symbols. There we go. Should be fixed now. Okay. So, well, let me show you guys. Welcome to the programming screen. So, I think I have already shown you once upon a time this little project here, I think. And well, here it is. This is the project. There are some new upgrades, new updates. So first of all, we got some new panel layouts. So this here is now a box layout. So I think you don't know this one yet. This is a box layout. So this here is also a box layout. So yeah, you can place like an item in there. Say you want to make it fit. You can also override one of the you can also override the dimensional axis to force it larger, for example. Then you can say where to position it if you want to make it like as small as possible, or like fit the box, essentially fit the desired size of the widget. Then you can place it like in the center, at the right edge, at the left edge, at the top edge, at the bottom edge, in the top right corner, in the top left corner, in the bottom left corner, or in the bottom right corner. You can also like fill into one of the directions. You can also say like stretch the x-axis or stretch the y-axis. So you have a lot of variation you can do with the box layout. Then there is also the overlay widget, which allows you to overlay 2 widgets over the top of each other. So for example, in this case, we have 2 box layouts overlay. We have 2 box panels over each other, and both of them are set to the top left corner. So yeah, and then we also have finally some event handling, like a proper event handling with bobbling and shit. So you can already see I also now have hovering. Not like there is no hover state the widget is aware of, but it has an on-mouse enter and an on-mouse leave event. So you can see how cursor can now enter and leave different widgets, and that changes the looks of it. Right now this changes the alpha of the painting of my testing widgets here. So yeah. Then there's also click. You can see mouse button down, mouse button up, mouse button down, mouse button up. So there are 2 events. That's why it's flashing when I do a simple click. There is no click event yet. Well, you could, each widget now theoretically could already do the click event by themselves if they want to, but not the case here right now. So yes, click event. Just button down and up. So I want to do the want to provide a systematical click event and double click event for all of this to work. And then we also have like proper bubbling. This is a little bit hard to see, so let's change this. Let's make those widgets a little bit larger. So we can simply go to the main function where I have those two guys in the overlay panel. Let's see, there it is, my overlay panel with a box panel for test 2.1 and 2. And now I just simply say override size, and then I provide a vector 2 new. And then I provide a new size. Let's go with 100 by 100 for the... I think this is the top one. Override size vector 2 new 200 by 200. Oh yeah, those are floating values, so we gotta do here decimal point. Yep, that's better. Okay, it's the opposite way. It's this here's the top one and this here's the lower one. Sorry. This is the bottom one. This is the top one. So it's in drawing order. Yeah, that looks way better. Okay, so this is the new widget. Important to note is right now there is no caching and no invalidation or dirty marking system. So every time there is an event, it redraws the widget completely. It also redoes the layouting and construction. Well, construction, there is no construction yet, but I have plans. So yeah, you can see like I can hover over this guy and it hovers, and if I can also hover over this guy and it propagates through all of them, over all the widgets, the enter and leave event that is, and I can click the lower one here, and I can also hover over the top one, and if I click this one, you can see it's only the top one that registers the updates. But if the top one would say, no, I haven't handled this event, then the lower one would be, would get the event. The event bubbles through the tree from the leaves to the root of the widget tree. So, yep. So there is that. And yeah, so we got that now. And yeah, you got your interactions here, which is really lovely. So yeah, there is still a slight problem right now. I'm using the I'm completely using WInity right now for my events, and not even fully. So there is a device event with a motion, a cursor motion event that gives me the delta. But there is also a window event with mouse move, and that gives me the window position. And window position is preferred right now, so I need to figure out a system that I still can use, that I can still follow the how's it called? The device event, because one big problem right now is, for example, it enters the widget enter state, and if I then move out of the window, it's still like it still thinks the mouse is inside of the window, which it certainly is not, which is not good. So I gotta have to change that. But you can see if I then enter somewhere else and my system gets a mouse event, then it simply ignores that. So like then it realizes, oh, no, you're not hovered anymore, and someone else is allowed to do this stuff, which is important. So yeah, mouse enter and mouse leave event, very important. So yeah. So yeah, but this is not what we're gonna work on now. So I asked a friend of mine who is also who is also oxidized person, a Rust user, and yeah, because I was unsure what I should do next. There are so many different things I have to do, and he wants to reach a specific milestone, which is a text edit field. Text edit is a difficult thing to achieve. Thankfully, due to fixed networks, I was able to learn a bit about how a GUI framework might approach a text edit field. So, yeah, I learned a bit there, and I'm confident enough that I will say that I probably will be able to write a simple text edit. A simple one, not a complex one for now, just a simple one. That's definitely a complex one, we will see. Especially not a multi-line for now. Well, now we're gonna go with a single line edit, a text edit for now. But yeah, that's the plan. And then let me think. Right, so besides that, yeah, so okay, and so the plan is to reach that milestone. There are a couple of things that are needed for this. So there is, for example, paint clipping, that if I have a text box, that if I draw the characters, that a character might clip off because it's outside of the box. So it's clipped properly, it doesn't write over shit. So I need clipping. Then clipping is a rendering thing. Like right now, I use the widget geometry for the bounds, which is also then used for the event handling. And right now, the whole event, pathing, so like the widget routing, I call it routing. That is like, you have a cursor here, and routing is the process of figuring out what widget lies under, what widgets lie under this cursor. And the current algorithm goes as follows: like, if you have then a geometry, like a panel, then all children are required to be within that geometry. Okay? Outside essentially would be clipped off in terms of this event, this routing. And that also means then essentially the event stuff is then clipped off. I also have an idea for an algorithm that would allow for it, for something like that. But right now it's definitely more expensive in terms of performance as well as memory space, because there I would need to do a cache. Right now I don't need a cache even. Like, it would be better to have a cache here, yes, and that is directly then also important for the layouting of the drawing stuff. But for the other option, where this limitation doesn't exist, I explained it earlier, there I have to use a completely different kind of caching that the painter cannot use. So there is that. Okay, and yeah, so clipping, paint clipping. Then another thing that's necessary is a scroll panel and a scroll bar. Obviously, if you then have text that needs to be clipped, I try to not draw them unnecessarily, but they still can be like clipped there. Then I have to somehow figure out how to. Well, don't do that. So I have to figure out how to not what am I saying? To be able to scroll around in the text box to edit text that is larger than the text box itself. Yes. And then I also need something. Yeah, that's right. Keyboard events and keyboard focusing, which is the point of today's stream. So I need awareness of what widgets are currently what widget is the active widget, and then do the event bubbling based on that. Which so that is pretty important. And then doing the keyboard events themselves. I don't think the keyboards event themselves will be that difficult to achieve, because we got like W in it, which already provides us with a key event, I think, and even a text event, which we then could use. But the focusing stuff, we need to do that first. The thing is, I'm not sure how like other GUI frameworks handle that, but I generally thought of a system that fully allows multiple input devices, so like multiple keyboards, multiple cursors, and stuff like that. And this also includes like focusing. Also the hover event. I want to add some more special hover events. So like right now, for each input device, like for each cursor, if the OS or whatever allows multiple cursors and then has different device IDs for that, then there is one enter and leave event for each cursor. So if one cursor enters, then an enter event happens. If the second cursor enters, also an enter event occurs, but with a different device ID. Same for the leave and stuff. So yeah. So that's theoretically in the abstraction layer already possible. In the platform-specific implementation, it is not. Right now, it's not possible. But in the abstract platform-independent interface, this is certainly possible. At least for the event routing, the events themselves don't have any meaningful information right now. That's something that has to happen later. But for now, this certainly is possible, which is a good thing. So like it thinks about that. So like, because it has to store which widget was previously hovered and stuff, and this storage, this very important storage to allow for these kinds of events, that one is aware of such a device ID. And the same should go with the keyboards. So I want to have each keyboard assigned to a keyboard ID, and that's then used for focusing. And then I also have a separate layer, which we don't need to do right now, because that should be rather simple to implement then somehow. Maybe the configuration of it is then a little bit more tricky to do, at least to do a proper space. Like doing the configuration itself should not be tricky, but like finding a good place to where to put it, that's a little bit more difficult, I guess. Like making a good interface essentially. So yeah, there's that. And placing a widget somewhere. Placing a widget. And the other tricky thing is the babadoo. Badly-do badoo. What was the other tricky thing? We have configuration. Oh Oh yeah, and like essentially the association between cursor and keyboard, that we then can say, okay, this cursor is associated with this keyboard, the second cursor is also associated with the same keyboard, but the third cursor is associated with a second keyboard, for example. So that we can do this. For this we need some translation line. But I don't think that's the plan for now, right now, because a platform dependent code will not be able to do anything else besides that for now. We're gonna simply try to make widget focus and context, and then doing the routing and stuff. So yeah, let's do that. For that we also so like Slate, I think, is focusable or is interactable, I think, function that checks if something is interactable or not. To be honest, I don't want to do that. I want to rely on the event system properly there. So I simply then trigger for the widget path a bubbling of like on focus, and it then checks if a reply comes back that says it got handled. So like right now, event. If we have a look at the test widget. So this is right now we have one event function that takes a widget event, which is an enum, and there are the different event types, and the function returns a reply, an event reply essential, and there are two different. This is also an enum. Actually, no, it's a structure that can be handled or unhandled, and depending on what you pass, the system will then will allow for different things to happen. And essentially, if you say, for example, every panel also has an on-event function that needs to be implemented. This is a requirement of our widget trait here. But each of them, but the default implementation of the widget's on-event function is just simply reply unhandled on everything, and that means like it will be ignored. So it then can propagate to the next widget in the when the widget gets passed through the bubbling or tunneling algorithm. Right now there is no tunneling because I don't need it. I don't know if I ever need it, but I certainly need bubbling, and that's implemented. For this, we're gonna go over to the events module, and there we have a little bit of stuff. So here you can see the handle thing. It's not much, but later reply will allow for a more easy way to change widget state. For example, capturing a cursor or whatever. Then there's like the here our widget event, and then there is a widget path structure, which simply collects, like there is a function called get widget under path under position, which then takes in the root widget and then goes through then it takes like a position and goes through this widget and searches for all the child widgets of that widget that are within this position. The position has to be absolute. So yeah, it goes then through all of the children and creates such a widget path, which is essentially a widget path is essentially just a section, like just a subset of the whole widget tree. That's more or less what it is. You can see we all have just few widget refs, and the widget path is children to another widget path. Duh. So yeah, it's recursive. Good. And then I have implemented here a function called bubble that then returns a widget path iterator bubble. So this is the so I implemented the bubbling algorithm here as an iterator. So it creates here the iterator, and then here is the actual iterator magic. I had to comment it out because it also went a bit confusing for me. This should clear it up a little bit how that bubble and stuff here works, but it's working, and I'm pretty happy. Previously, I had a recursive implementation, but this year's now iterative approach. I mean, it's iterator, so it had to be iterative. Duh. So yeah. And then there is like here the bubble event. So this is just like bubbling through the widget path, but it doesn't do any event handling like for the replies and stuff. And for this we have the bubble event function, which just simply iterates through our widget path via the bubbling algorithm, and on each step it does the it calls the event on that given widget and checks the reply. If the reply got handled, it breaks the bubbling ends, and otherwise it will continue with the next widget of within the widget path. The widget path also, by the way, is generated by the get widget path under position, and this here is highly depending on the arrange children function. This function is recursive, by the way. I mean, it makes the stuff way simpler, and I don't expect a widget with a depth of like 50 or so, or something like that's easily handleable. 50 is like easily handleable. The recursive function. Problem is just like if you go into the multiple thousands. Also, by the way, I haven't mentioned it yet, but I got a warm cup of tea, I got some snacks, I got some Spezi. Just a small little drop. Hold on. Now I don't have any Spezi anymore. And I got some sparkling water. Okay. So, as said, plan was to do keyboard focusing. So there is something called the event context structure. This event context structure has then, for example, a function like handle mouse move, which then does all the special events and generally the event handling that is done when a mouse moves. To note here is that like mouse move takes widget path, the cursor index as an integer, a usize here, unsigned 64-bit integer, like, or depending on the system size essentially. And then we also have here the absolute position. Though it's the absolute window position and not the absolute screen position. It's a little bit weird. Like everything, like if you ever see absolute here, right now it is everything window position, absolute window position. Though at some point I probably will change it to the absolute position. To allow, for example, dragging to also work outside of the widget. So like if you drag something, you can then go outside of the widget and you still have a proper position value, so you can position your stuff properly. So yeah, there's that. You need to be aware of that. But dragging outside of the widget, like properly dragging something out of the widget is difficult, but like to make it still aware of something happening outside, especially, for example, if you're penning something. Yeah, if you're penning a canvas, a 2D grid, like a graph editor, then you don't want to lose your grip onto that widget if you leave the window. You still want to have full focus over it. So yeah, so we need the absolute position, so this will change probably at some point. And the whole function here, platform specific wise, also the implementation there probably also has to change, I guess. I assume that Windows needs to be aware that we want to capture the cursor right now, so it doesn't interact with any other program, which it probably does right now. So. Or it has a default behavior, I'm not sure, but I have to investigate that, but not right now. We have other plans for now. Okay. So, next is we have... so, yeah, okay, so this is the handle mouse move, which is then simply called each different platform context. However, by each platform context. However, they handle stuff like Wayland and stuff a little bit in Windows. And at this point here, there is one thing that will happen independent of platform. So yeah, so each platform context essentially creates for its own event context. It then uses to distribute the events to the given widgets, which is also important because at some later point in time, we've got to probably go through many refactors, duh. But at some later point in time, you also may want to have support for multiple widgets, multiple windows, and these windows should be aware of each other. Right now, we only have like one retouchy window is one retouchy context, and if you have a second window, this one doesn't have anything, has no clue about the other window, so which might not be ideal. So we're gonna have to figure out a way to maybe allow for something like that. But yeah, for now, handle mouse move. Next is we have this cursor event context. So this is by the way, the event context is used to store information between events that manipulate other events. So for example, mouse move. The first time, like, okay, the specific window was not hovered. Now I have a mouse move event suddenly inside a window. I check if it's in a specific window. If it was already hovered, no, it's not. So I gotta trigger the mouse enter event. And same goes for leaving. On that note, as already mentioned, I want to make it different for each input device. I want to support multiple different input devices, no matter what. So as you can see, I have here a list of cursors inside of HashMap using the usize, the cursor index, and getting a cursor event context. And the cursor event context then consists of this information that is just specific to one specific cursor, like lost over widgets or captured by widget. If one specific cursor got captured by a widget, this information needs to be stored here, because it's just necessary for one specific cursor and not for all cursors. And the same applies now for our keyboard event, because widget focusing. So this is not specific. I would not call it like keyboard event context. It's a bit weird because it may be also cursor event context. Because of touch, we will see. As said, probably refactor. Okay, yeah, true. We gotta probably refactor it. So let's go with keyboard for now. So we got the keyboard event context, and the keyboard event context doesn't have much. It only has one optional widget reference, and that is the focused widget. So focused widget then has an option widget ref then widget, and there you go. We are done here with the event context. Though we have to with the keyboard event context, though we have to add it to the event context to actually use it somewhere. So these here are keyboards, then HashMap, usize, keyboard, event, context. Then we gotta add a couple of new events. So these are the mouse events, and now we have here the keyboard events. So on key down, then there is a on key up, then we also have a on key. Do we have an on key press? I don't think so. There is definitely a on text though, so we gotta need that. Then there is a on focus. And the on unfocus. I'm not sure. Defocus? Is it defocus? I mean, how would you translate that best, guys? How would you do that? How would you call them? Like, I need an event that gets triggered when a widget gets focused, and an event when it gets unfocused. But unfocus apparently is not an English word. Unfocus. To unfocus something. Unfocus. Victionary. Un plus focus. Third signal present. Unfocus. Unfocuses. To bring out of focus. Transitive to bring out of focus. Yeah. I gotta add it to the dictionary. Like, come on. So we gotta stay with focus and unfocus. Because duh. Let's go. Earth. So we have key down, key up, on text, on focus, and on unfocus. Also, now we finally, I mean, you also have to do something which is annoying to do, but it has to be done. Well, not necessarily annoying, but it simply has to be done. And that is our replies. We're gonna have to do some replying, and that is take focus or leave focus, I guess. However you want to call it. Leave focus. Handled. Leave focus. Take focus. Bool. How you give back focus? Free focus? Free focus? I don't know. Let's go with that. A reply structure is essentially a builder. It's like it's pretty much a builder. So we gotta do that too. Okay, hold on. Do the a little different here. Gotta expand it because there are some things to do. So then there's like take focus false, free focus is false. Then there is this here, which then no, please. Handled false. Take focus false and free focus false. I'm not quite sure how we do the event, the reply handling, how we would process them. Right now, I would say, okay, we take one reply, we take the first handled reply, no event bubbling afterwards, and we then process this reply, essentially. Do what it tells us to do. I don't know what we should do otherwise. That's the only thing I could think of. So if you then essentially use further builder events, builder functions on the unhandled reply, doesn't make much sense. I guess I will allow it, but it's doesn't make much sense. Doesn't make much sense. So pop FN, which is take focus, and it just simply wants a mutable self. It's inlined, so it's an inline builder function. So it takes the mutable self fully, not as a burrow. It takes full ownership of the reply structure and then returns it right away. Well, it manipulates it, that's why it's mutable, and then it returns it. So take focus, we're gonna set to true, self.take focus obviously, and then we just simply return self, and that's what we do. So then we also need like pubfn free focus, mutable self. If a widget wants to voluntarily give up its focus, then this shall be done. So yep, free focus true, and then there is self. I really like the syntax of how Unreal did that, so that's why I take a lot of ideas from Unreal Slate, because I mean I really like Slate, except their resource management, their styling, like how they do styling. I'm not a fan of that, but I'm a fan of a lot of other things, lifetimes, the widgets, how the widgets work, event handling, stuff like that. I don't know how their platform abstraction works. No clue. But I have some idea. I know how their layouting works and stuff, and I take a lot of ideas from there. I still do stuff different though, so don't worry. Okay, so back to topic. So now we have these events here. I don't know what is going on always over here. Like use of moved value. Where is it moved? There is nothing moved. It's a bit annoying that it constantly complains about stuff like that. Not gonna lie. But it is very funny. Like this, I only have this issue here on Windows. Okay, on my laptop, on Arch, yeah, only on Windows. Like on my laptop on Arch, I also have C-Line installed, and I do there my programming here. But there I use, I just simply use my, but there I don't have these weird errors. I don't like, and I mean it compiles fine, so something is a bit odd here. But okay. Actually, I did want to check if there were updates. Doesn't seem like there are any necessary things. Well, okay. So, event context. We got here now event context, implementation for event context. It's an event context, add missing fields. We obviously need a new hash map for our keyboards. And then we gotta do a new function. So, public. Okay, before we do that, I would say we gotta have a look at event handling. So there is this on event going on with the widget event. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that. The problem is there are some events that reply simply won't work on, like over here, like for the on mouse enter, mouse move, and mouse leave. A reply simply won't work. Well, okay, I would say maybe that it depends, but right now, at the current state, there is no thing like that. Like, I don't want to automatically... I mean, giving automatically a widget focus would be an interesting idea, but I'm still a bit... yeah. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I'm not a fan of it. It's like, because like, I mean, I was especially worried about mouse capturing. So I don't want the on-mouse enter event, for example, or like any of these events to be able to capture the mouse. Because my idea of capturing a mouse would be that if a widget then captures the cursor, captures the mouse, it then says, well, fuck you, fuck all the other widgets, I don't hover them anymore. Or at least I think the capturing widget can decide what should happen. So it can then decide if it should fully capture it or partially capture it. Partially capture it means it gets the mouse. Yeah, so partially means like windows and stuff. If you drag it out, it won't do anything weird there. But fully capturing also means like no mouse enter or leave events for the outside widgets, and maybe there's also a third state that allows for mouse enter and leave events for child widgets of this capturing widget or not. And yeah, and it doesn't make sense if you would allow it in a mouse move event, a mouse enter or a leave event. Because like if you would allow it in a mouse enter event, then you could, for example, say, oh, okay, so you drag it into a horizontal box into an overlay. Yeah, into an overlay. So that means there are multiple objects that would then suddenly, with one tick, come into hovering state, multiple widgets, and some of them will then already have passed the on-mouse enter event. And then suddenly a widget comes and says, okay, I capture the cursor, and that means all of the other widgets then will have a leave event. All widgets that already are hovering, that already have the hover state, that already have got the on-mouse enter event called, will then have to again right away get the leave event called. So that including the widgets that just became that just got the on-mouse enter called. And so this is a bit stupid in my opinion. So I would not allow processing for the specifically for the mouse capture thingy in this reply. Well, I probably would then provide an interface that you still can capture a mouse in a different way. I'm not actually sure about that without the reply. But that means, yeah, like you're properly actively not doing what the system wants you to do, so you actively decide against it. And it's always good to be able to do something, but you should be aware that this is not how things should work. And this means that the widget here also, the reply here should not be handled for the capture event, for the capturing, because it's something that should be handled by the reply. Whew, a lot of stuff I just said. Okay. So yeah, the question is now because the take focus and free focus are now reply things. The question is, on which events? The fuck? On which events do we want to care about the reply states? So right now, there is only on the mouse move, but there is also a button down and button up event. So we maybe want to first, before we continue on the keyboard, want to do an on click event. So yeah, an on click event. So how do we do that? Well, the idea is we have here the handle mouse move, and then I gotta do here a pub fn handle mouse button mutable self. We take again a widget path, obviously, and then we take cursor index. Use eyes and a position vector to scalar, and now we also need button information. The problem is I don't have button information right now, and I definitely would need to create an abstract interface for it, which I do not have right now, and I don't want to do that interface now. As sad as it sounds, but I don't want to do that interface now. So let me pretty quickly check on the Windows platform specific event, and there is cursor moved, and then there is here mouse button left, for example, and here it does. Here it calculates the widget path, and then does the event triggering itself. So what I want to do instead is I want to, well, use the event context. As I implemented the input thingy here, there was no event context yet. So we need a handle mouse button. It takes a self. Not sure if it does right now, but it should take a self. Then it needs a widget path. It just needs to borrow it. Makes it not sure if it is more efficient, but if we would need to use it later on, it's more efficient to just borrow it, because we don't consume it anywhere. So there is that. Then there is the cursor index, which is in this case like always 0. We don't need to have device IDs, so add multi-device support is necessary here. There is a lot of things that need to be done here. But I should make a GitHub project and then put everything in there, I guess. Okay, so position. We got a position there, which is pretty okay. So just simply take the last cursor position. As you can see, last cursor position, also a relic from the before event context times. We got here a last cursor position instead of using the event context, because there's only one last cursor position, even though if you might have multiple cursors. Not good. Well, also I gotta rename some stuff already, like I have here like handle mouse move. We gotta rename it to cursor move. So cursor is the pointy thingy, and mouse is this physical hardware thingy, and if you press a button there, it's a mouse button, but it's not the virtual cursor here that you're moving, because the mouse just gives some delta input. So yeah, and then it gets interpreted by Windows differently. So yeah, nomenclature. I gotta change the nomenclature. Okay, mouse button though is allowed to be how it is. Though I want to match it a bit. So there's mouse button. There's left, right, middle, and other. Okay, so for now we don't need to differentiate between the buttons. But I want to differentiate between down and up events, because I don't have a differentiation between that right now, which is important because this actively confuses things. Just using here left is okay for now. We can do a lot of things with just left clicks. Yeah, but like definitely the state here is definitely important. So we're gonna match the state, I guess. I think that's the best idea. For the cursor enter leave problem you're having with the capture, wouldn't it be simple, depending on how the enter events are fired, to just go from the topmost widget down to the lowest and just intercept them at a point where it's fully captured? No, not from the top to the bottom. If so, then from bottom to up. So, bubbling. Like, all of the events should be done by bubbling and not by tunneling. And for the enter and leave events, I mean, no, because like what I mentioned was like, I want the capturing widget to be able to decide how the mouse move events should further be executed. So I also want it be able to decide, like, no, not even the child widgets will get a mouse position update event for leave, enter, or mouse move, or something like that. It should only get itself, or okay, maybe also the children's, or maybe everyone's. Why not? Like, it should be, I think, like in my opinion, this should be up to the widget, and implementing it is then, like, by itself, like, I would say implementing it is trivial. It's just like, think about what the design decisions are. That's the tricky part. And the fun part. Not gonna lie, I love thinking about such problems. So there is pressed, so handle mouse button pressed. That makes a lot of sense. Let's go that. Or let's go mouse button down. Boop. And self event context, handle mouse button up, also taking path 0 and last cursor position. So now we have differentiated between those two, which is already quite good. Now let's go back to the events. And this here is handle mouse button down. And we don't get any additional information like modifier keys and whatnot. Let's ignore that for now. Okie dokie dope. So the thing is, there is like lost over widgets for the cursor event context. But there is also more to it. For example, last, left, down widgets, which is also a hash set of dynamic trade widget. So, yep. So click should only work with... Actually, there's like right click and left click, isn't there? Fuck. And there's also a middle mouse button click. So, this won't do. Last. About to be clicked. About to be clicked. What a great name that is. Okay, and then I got a hash set there for the view size, which is the button thingy. Left, right, middle mouse click. Right now, as already said, abstract interface doesn't know about it, but I want to at least prepare my data structures for it. And now it is, which is good. So, about to be clicked. So, first things first, like it's very similar to our handle mouse button move now. Let's just simply copy that for now, which is very funny. So, there is cursor event context. Yes, let's do something there. We're gonna change that a little bit, and then we say event context puppet and then get cursor event get cursor context. Yeah, let's go with that. That should be fine. And we need a cursor index usize. Usize. There you go. And then we're gonna paste this here down. What the fuck is going on? That's not. And there we go. Looks like this now needs to be done by multiple ones and not just this one. Actually, hash set default, isn't it? Won't this do? What's the matter? Oh, yeah. Mid cursor event context. Duh, that's what we want to return. Reference to mod cursor event context. Important that it's mutable because, well, we want to be able to change the context, obviously. So cursor context, and then we say we just simply say self get cursor context and provide the cursor index, and we're already done that, so we can now get rid of this shared stuff here. So these are the rest widgets, the down widgets. Let's go with hash set not new, but not default, but new. Same over here, hash set new. Okay. So then we bubble over the widget, which is okay. And then we have here the down widgets, where we clone the widget. Then we have last over widget, which is not what we want. So we need something that is cursor specific. So we got button specific. So that means we need we need mouse button context, essentially. Let's call it mouse button context. Mouse button context, which is cursor context. Cursor context. And then there is about to be clicked. Cursor context about to be clicked. Yeah, I think we gonna need to do something very similar as this year. So for entry, well, right now we only have left mouse button. Like, let's go with null, and then we have or insert, actually, yeah, or insert. Okay, no, hold on. Gotta think, because our whole thing is a bit different working here. So we're definitely gonna add it to the down widgets. But then we have here on mouse button down. Okay, we don't even have these events yet, so let's add them pretty quickly. So there's enter, input, mouse input, enter, move, leave, and then the click. Okay, so this is on mouse input is clicking, so we gotta get rid of that. So this is now on mouse button down, and then there is on mouse button up, which then might cause an on click event. And then there is this here, which we're gonna rename pretty quickly to on cursor enter. Then we have on cursor move. And we have obviously on cursor leave. So with that, we have now on cursor enter, move, leave, button down, button up, on click, on key down, on key up, on text, on focus, and on unfocus. Great. So let's continue with clicking things. So we have a get cursor context. We need to be down here. So on mouse button down. Important. It's now about down. So we don't need this here right now, I think. Actually, later we maybe need it. In an if clause, I assume. So, down widgets. For here we collect all the widgets that are currently pressed downwards. So then there is like widget, with a widget path. We bubble through the widgets. And here we just collect them. We have to bubble through them multiple times. To have a better event pipelining. Maybe it can be optimized at some point right now to make sure like first mouse enter and then mouse leave. Like first mouse, it's guaranteed that mouse enter is called before a mouse move event, and the mouse leave event is definitely called after the last mouse move event. So I have here some certain guarantees, which then causes me that I have to iterate through it. Actually, I only have to iterate it through it once. Oh. Okay, there is that. Why not? But on click is a bit different. So yeah, right. Here we only have like on mouse down. Right. So okay. Widgets. So we have here widget in widget path bubble. Down widgets insert widget clone, event widget event on mouse button down. Coding source, is this retained or immediate? This is retained. Well, right now it's technically immediate, but it's certainly completely structured to be able to be a retained mode GUI. I fucking hate immediate mode, immediate UIs. Like the whole Rust ecosystem, like the whole Rust ecosystem is there is only one relatively good retained GUI framework, and that is Druid. I don't know a single better one. there is I don't know a better version, a better thing than Druid. So like all the immediate modes, I fucking hate them because you can't do complex UI with that. Like I'm actually relatively new to Rust. Just a couple of months old, essentially. Like I wanted always to do a project with Rust, but like all the ideas that I would say that's something I would want to do now, means like all of them required me to make a GUI. I wanted to make it native because I expected it to be quite performance intense in some tasks. So I definitely didn't want to make a web app for that. And I generally hate web styling. I don't know, but like there is something magical about being able to write your own layouting and not having to rely constantly and always on the fucking box layout. So yeah. And that's why So I searched, and GDK, I'm sorry, but GDK is shit. It's garbage. I'm sorry, but I hate GDK. There is not a single good application made with GDK. Not a single one. Like that, or at least, let's say, depending on how you define it, but there is not a single application that is easy to use made with GDK. Not even Firefox is really that, or Thunderbird is really that great in terms of usability, in my opinion. But there are a lot of, like, KDE uses Qt. Qt is enormous and I love it. I also have worked with Qt. I have worked with GDK, and Qt is just really great for things. And even if you have to, even if you do just C++. And I'm also an Unreal veteran, so I'm pretty familiar with the Slate UI framework from the Unreal Engine. I freaking love it. I worked with it the most. Probably that's why I love it the most. I had to work with it the most, so I was forced because, duh, fix it networks and fix it can. But still, I fucking love this system. So this here right now is heavily inspired by Unreal Engine Slate. And it doesn't do much. It's very young. Look at how, like, these are all the folders, all the files. There is not much in here. I'm not sure if I can compile right now. I have a small example for some layouting and for the first couple of events I have there. So there is indeed technically an example. You won't be able to see much, but yeah, it's not just the semicolon why it's not working right now. Actually, maybe it's... Oh, actually, you're maybe right. It may work. Hold on. I definitely have to do a default there, though, pretty quickly. That's something I have certainly to do. And I don't think I need... It may actually work now. No, it does not. Over widgets. Come on, let's just comment the whole thing out. I don't use that function yet. Oh, right. Well, actually, I do. Let's just comment that stuff out too. So clicking won't work, but the hovering should work. Almost input. Right, I just renamed them, so these are now... Alright, hold on. Actually, in the future, this will be on mouse button down, and actually on click. I want to do this here on the on click event, which is not implemented right now. We were about to implement it. So right now there is just like cursor move gets replaced with on click, and cursor, well, not replaced but implemented differently, which allows then for on click. So it doesn't work right now. Just joined while we were working on it, but enter and leave should work. I hope so. Let's see. So there it is. So currently there are a couple of layouting things. So you can have vertical boxes, horizontal boxes. There is a so-called box layout, I call it, where it like this here just wants a 10 by 20 size area. Well, the widget itself wants a 10 by 10 widget, like this small little droplet here wants a 10 by 10 size. It gets a 10 by 20 because in the box layout I told it, I force you to be 20 high. And then you can say like, should be in the center, should be in the top center, bottom center, left center, right center, top left corner, top right corner, bottom left corner, bottom right corner. Fill the x-axis, fill the y-axis, or fill both axes. You can do stuff like that. And then there is an overlay. Then there is also an overlay widget that allows, well, widgets to be overlaid over each other, which is done here. I have proper event bubbling and event handling. So if I, for example, would say click here, like previously, when click worked, it would like do a random color here, change its color to a different random color. Then like this widget here, the smaller widget would say, okay, I have handled it, and the event would not be passed or bubbled to the next widget, which would be the red widget here. Alright, so there is that stuff is also working, but as already mentioned, you were a bit in the process of where we do some stuff. But yeah, we got here some layouting stuff and some events. I'm not sure if it will be big. I'm learning. I just said I want to do a GUI framework because I wasn't able to find a good GUI framework for what I wanted to do. So I have to write my own. So here we are. Also, I try to make it, I also already have a basic platform abstraction layer and implementations for Windows and for Linux on Wayland. And I'm using WInit for creating the windows right now, getting the contexts and the input events. At some point, maybe I will go directly native without WInit. Not sure. Especially considered when we care about multiple windows, so there is that. But for now, we're gonna go with this stuff for now. There is not much. I'm very sorry that it's probably disappointing to you, Coding Sauce, if you're still here. So yeah, also Linus, if you're still here, Coding Sauce said retained UI stores the UI between renders, immediate redraws every update. Yeah, it not only does that, but also the event handling happens quite differently than in the immediate mode than the retained ones. Retained ones are the typical ones you already know, you're familiar with, like the WPF from within C# or like the normal Android SDK or whatever. Those are also retained UIs. Then you also have like Qt, so QT, Qt, which is also fine, and so on. Tower has better functionality than WInit. Well, I searched a bit around and I found WInit. It works. I'm not gonna change it now. I'm very sorry, but like it's working now with WInit. If I go back to that position where I then have to decide and change this kind of backend, I maybe don't go with any of these libraries, to be honest. It could probably, it might happen. It certainly might happen, but no, I'm not sure. We will see. Like it's like this here is just the same base API as Win, but extends with more native features. Yeah, okay, but still, I'm not sure if I will ever like. Yeah. We will see. Like this, essentially, this also is a lot of learning. Also, by the way, just to let you know, to draw things, I use Skier. I don't want to use any of the Rust, or like completely Rust implemented ones. So because also they apparently have bad anti-aliasing. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm very new to all this. I'm very new to Skier. I'm very new to trading windows like that, bounding up drawing context to it and stuff, and also how Wayland works. But it's an interesting journey. It's a learning project here, with the end goal of being able to have a GUI framework that I then can use for the actual learning project I wanted to do to learn Rust. But yeah, there we are. Also, I'm not sure how other Rust libraries do their stuff, but I heavily rely on shared pointers. I don't care what you say, but shared pointers are amazing for that use case. Like, even the fucking Rust book mentions, well, as an example for when to use trait objects for like widgets and stuff. But like handling these directly without some kind of container is a bit weird. And because you probably need multiple reference to the same thing at multiple different places, shared pointer is the best option in my opinion. So here we are. And I mean, it works amazing. Like, also, like, I'm pretty happy with the syntax so far. I even want, I want to later on do a macro. I have no clue how to write macros, but I want to do a declarative macro for that. But the syntax I already like the syntax of how you do the layouting. Feels quite familiar with Slate in Unreal Engine. But yeah. Just letting you know it exists. Okay. Is it on Are We GUI yet? Then I probably will find it. If it's indexed there. Needs to have the similar tags as the... Perf? Can be bad. Well, yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, as mentioned, I worked with Unreal Engine C++, with Unreal Engine Slate. Slate is not garbage collected. They fully rely on the shared pointers. I love it. I know the things why like shared pointers can be bad. But gotta implement it properly, then they won't be bad. It's as simple as that. And so far, Valgrind didn't complain, which is amazing. Okay, let's continue, okay? So, where we left off, right in the events thing here. So, handling a mouse button down. So, good. So we got our cursor context. We then collect the down widgets. So we insert our widget there. Are you on your own pointer or using arcrc? I'm using arcrc, but I have wrapped it in a custom structure to make it a little bit more easier to use. So I have here like a widget ref, which is nothing than our RC ref cell, and the library is unstable. So yeah, the library is unstable, but I mean, it's a learning project. It's my project, and I decided to go with it. I made it unstable due to the size, to the unsized stuff here, and the course unsized here, especially course unsized, just to make it a little bit easier to use. But yeah, with the structure here, with the structure that just simply wraps the RC ref cell, I just made it a little bit easier to handle the widget refs. So if you want to access the widget, you just simply call get, and you get ref map to it, and that's it. So So like it's just so like I used RC, not RC and ref cell there, just to make my life a little bit easier. I repped it and it's working flawlessly. I did it took me quite some time to get that working, especially in finding this fucking curse unsize there, but now it works and I'm pretty happy with how it works. You can like do window widget clone, so like this here is my widget ref. I clone it, can use it everywhere, and when I want to access the widget, I just simply can get it and that's it. And it does its job perfectly fine. So like here, I have here a widget ref. So on dynamic widget object, I just simply get it, and then I can directly use it without any hints. I don't want to use dref because that interferes with the clone. So I think it's more easier to use if you have to manually call the get than using a dref there. Just saying. I'm very happy with the syntax of my widget ref here. So yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna do an event, and this is on mouse button down. Perfect. Fine, that's it for this guy here. We actually don't even need this down widgets there. If we have our cursor event context, we make a button context. Oh yeah, no, okay. No. Okay, it's fine. So like we got the down widgets, and then we check if the length of the down widgets is larger than 0. And then we gotta do is so we get the entry. The question is why does it not tell me what I could do? We have why is it about? It should be about. No. Is it right? I'm native German. I'm a bit confused right now and with English. It would be fine, I guess. Let's just leave it. We can change it later. Okay, so we got about to be clicked entry, but why? Sea Lion, what are you doing? Please help me out there. Does it even give me the option of using entry? Oh, wait, it complains at the cursor context? Let's see, cursor. Eh? What chat? About to be clicked. Oh. It's a hash set. That's why. Lol. Wait, why is it? Give me a second, I need to think. No, this doesn't make sense. It has to be a hash map of a hash set. What the fuck did I do there? For fuck's sake. That's better. Lol. Okay, there we go. Entry 0. Okay. And modify. Right, or default. That's the one I wanted. And then there I want to insert. Or actually I want to append. Does append work? I want to insert a hash set to the hash set. Is there a combine? Why is there no append like in vectors? I mean, there's probably no push, no. Is there a mul? No. Do I have to iterate them? Are you kidding me? Intersection, that might be it. Actually, intersection, I think of it as something. No, it's not. Something else. Okay. Yeah, that's where the two shares. Okay. But join. No. Come on. Bit and no, that's definitely not it. What is NE? Oh, okay, not equal. That's NE. Deref mat now clone into what is sub? Outcomes a hash set. Extend. This sounds like something that might work. But can we also do it without an iterator? Okay, no, I don't think so. Well, then let's go with extend. Down widget. Actually, no, I don't want to extend it. I want to fucking replace it. What am I thinking? Expected hash set widget ref down widget. There you go. I hope you are happy now. Okay, down widgets. Yeah, that took way too long. But at least it works. Okay. And I think that's it for the down event. We just need to tell them what button got clicked. And there doesn't happen much else. Now we have to handle the up event. And that's the more interesting part, the click event. Though, we also have to make it aware that a mouse leave causes the about to be clicked to not reset, because it cares about if the cursor comes back and releases, then it's still fine, right? It's not depending on how we think it should behave. So it should, like, clicking on something, getting it. Okay, like, it's dragging shit. Clicking on something. It's dragging also. Is there something not draggable here? Modify. Okay. Click. Move away. Move back. And release. Opens up the thing. Question is, if clicking and dragging captures the cursor. Let's see. Click. Okay, it causes a hover event here, but not over here. But it then instead does the tooltip. Very interesting how JetBrains does it. It still does the hover over itself, though. That's a very weird behavior. Okay, other buttons also don't seem to allow the same thing. If I obviously leave here, it won't do it. Which is totally fine. Don't do the action, essentially. but it seems to do some kind of half capturing of the cursor. So how shall we do that? I mean, we would definitely want to have an on-click event somehow. There are multiple ways to implement. Either we could let each widget handle the click state themselves, or we handle it outside in the root of our on a system-wide level. I think on a system-wide level is probably preferred. I assume. Makes it a little bit easier to use, I guess. And if you still want to do other magic, you can still do other magic if you want to, I guess. And if you want this capturing stuff, you can do it manually also. So there's also that. Okay, so like, the question is always how do other programs implement their stuff? For example, OBS, how does it do that? A button. Okay. It's definitely depending on... Oh. What the fuck? Okay. I guess this is... In Qt, it seems to be... not system relevant, this capturing thing. It's very weird. Does Qt have an on-click event? Because I just saw, like, if I use, if I take the toolbar, open up the toolbar, like tools, I mean the menu bar. The menu bar, if I open up the tools tab in OBS and then, for example, click on scripts, I hold the button, move up to output timer, the hovering state changes, and if I then release, I open up the output timer. Essentially, the click happens on mouse button up. The heck? I'm a bit gobsmacked there right now. Okay, how do we want to do it? I would say we just simply let a click, we trigger a click event by the system if a mouse button down happened and a mouse button up happened on that same widget. So we got here now these down widgets. Coding Sauce still here? Or Linus, you still here? Or Drachwex? Is anyone here? Or am I all alone today? Or already again? Almost button up. Okay, so... well... we certainly do the bubble. This time it's called up widgets though. Please change. Up widgets. We bubble through them with the almost button up event. And after the button up event, we then check if the widget is eligible for an on-click event, which happens here. Now with following code, we simply take the we take the down widgets. No, they're the about to click. There you go. So Say let about to be clicked. Though we maybe want to change it a little bit. Can I simply do a get there, or do I have to use the entry function? Seems like I have to use entry. Oh yeah, obviously, this is just the hash map, duh. Actually, yeah, no. Do I have to? Entry. Is there... I would like to check if this entry here is fine. So, if there is actually about to be clicked. I mean, there's or insert or default, but I just generally want to check if it exists, because if it doesn't, I don't want to care. I want to do anything else. Okay. Would we search Rust hash map? Collections. There should be entry or something. There is no get functions though. There is a get function for the hash map. And it's a fucking option like I wanted. I feel betrayed. Get. Oh! Wait, it wants a key. Eh? Ooh. Okay. Sure. Then like that. So, about to be clicked. We check if it is some list. About to. Let's call it about to. And we then just simply check if our widget is inside about to. Contains our widget. Right, that's also, for example, something I added. Coding source, if you're still here. I added hasher, the hash trait to the widget ref, so I can use it in hash sets and hash maps, which I don't think that the default RC, for example, implements. Okay, so if the about to contains our widget, we then finally do the mouse button. Actually, this here is, we should put it outside here. We don't consume it, so up event, and same for this here. Click event, widget event on click, and then we can simply say widget get on event click event, but we need to borrow it just like that, and it should be done. So maybe clicking works now. Doopy doop. Fuck. About to. About to be clicked. Not found in the scope. Oh, yeah. Forgot the LEDs there. There you go. Also, by the way, since we did that now, we can do the same down here. Which is the down event now. And same over here, which is the leave event. And over here we can make it the enter event. And over here actually move all events up there. Then we have it at one space. And then this is the move event. Just like that. Down event. Good. There we go. And the mouse down and up. Now we gotta have to add it back into our platform. And let's see. On mouse BTN down. Yeah, right, it's called button down nowadays. And this here is obviously on mouse button. Button up. So what problem do you have over here? Cannot assign to this expression. What is it? Okay, so maybe if we dereference it, maybe you'll like it then. Oh, right. Also, about to be clicked. Entry. Can I want to remove the entry. Like, there is an entry function which then returns an entry. Okay, so I cannot do that. Okay. There is an insert. Is there also remove? Yes, there is. There's a remove and a remove entry. Remove entry. Removes the key from the map, returning the store key and value of the key was previously in the map. Ah, okay. So remove is fine. It's mainly the return value that matters there, it seems. Remove. And this wants to borrow it. Then borrow it already. Let's see if clicking works now. Mouse down, mouse up, and we gotta update. It fucking works. Okay. Down, up, nothing happened. Out, back, in, up, worked. Great. I'm outside, I go down, go inside, go up, nothing happens. It does what it should do. That's always nice to see. Not gonna lie, I love it. It works exactly like intended. Which is great. So we got now a proper button down, button up, and click events. Also, now you can see here, we got a... Okay, bubbling got ruined now, it seems. Oh. Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it got ruined. Actually, no, it didn't. Well, actually, no. Yes, it did. Because we ignore the reply right now. Which is not good. Which is not what we want. So, yeah. We are bubbling here through it. So, we're gonna have to do it differently then. Which is get on event. We then get the Okay, so let up reply. I mean, we get a reply, and then there is also this guy here. I want this click event to ignore this reply there. But if itself got then answered, it should not continue with the up events. Actually, it should. Right, got an idea. We then just simply directly erase it. So let click reply, and then we check if the click reply says it got handled. We then directly remove the about to be clicked, and then this click will never happen for other widgets. And if the up here had a functioning reply, we then say if up reply handled, we then break our event button there. We're gonna do the same for our down though, pretty quickly. So let down reply, and then we say if down reply handled. We then break our handling. Why is the performance so fucking annoying? So I'm actually alone now? That's a bit sad. Nobody likes me. Mutable borrow occurs here. It does? Click get. About to be all the way up there. Park. So this won't work in here. Yeah, okay, so that means I have to handle it a bit differently then. So I have to do it via Boolean. Already handled click. It's gonna make it false. Very important, it needs to be mutable because it gets set to true over here. Handled click to true. Or we can do it like that. And say only if it contains that and it wasn't already handled. Handled by click is false. That's a bit weird. Oh wait, it's probably just C-Line again that's complaining about weird shit. Told ya. No. But I'll lie that. Yep. No, it still doesn't work. Click propagation doesn't get stopped. But it should. We reply with everything handled. That's why it's a bit weird right now. Only if handle click was set to false and about to contains it. But if it got set to true, like down there, should not work. Click event should not happen anymore. Let's quickly check. So here we do the random color and nowhere else. But we definitely reply with handled, as you can see here. Something doesn't work here. We get 1, and then we get 2. We get even more than that. Yeah, kinda makes sense that we then even get more than that. We get 1 event, second event, oh my goodness, that's why, because I messed up here. LOL! That's why. Let's see. Yes, now it works. Hooray. So it indeed fucking worked, which is always nice. Okay. Whew. So now, finally, with a click event, we can then further use the reply of the click event to do other stuff, like taking focus, for example. For that, we need to like have something like process widget or like process reply or something like that. So let's add a function for that pretty quickly, because this might be useful. Tab-fn process reply. Gonna need a mod self, obviously, and I need a widget path, a current one. Actually, we only get a widget, right? We only have a. Well, we have. Yeah, okay, let's go with that for now. We've got a widget path taking a widget. Oh, I mean a widget. Taking a widget reference of dynamic widget. And we've got a cursor index. Wait, do we need a cursor? No, it's too specific to a mouse event. Lol. So we just need process reply. Oh, and a reply, obviously. Reply. We do not consume it, so it just needs to be referenced. Thank you. That should do the trick for now. So we then say if reply says take focus, we then like, well, we need more event context, because we actually do care about the cursor here. Actually, no, it's something within take focus. It has then to tell take focus which widget it wants. That's a good idea. So take focus is not a boolean. It's an option with public enum widget focus change that can then be either list or cursor list all cursors. Cursor list widget, so it wants a widget focus change. Take focus. None. Oh, and the same is for free focus. Option widget focus change, and we'll get here need none done. We'll get a none done and some more none dones. There we go. Now next is we got the take your fucking focus. And what we want is we obviously want a widget focus change. So change widget focus change. We're gonna consume it because we're gonna pass it on to the option change. Some change. And gonna need to change. Widget focus change. There we go. So now with all of this new stuff, we can then go back to our process. Process reply. We're gonna have to add some modifiers later so that we can use the process reply a little bit better for different things, different things. For now, take the fucking focus. We gotta check if it is sum change equals let sum change. Reply take focus. What's the matter? Can it move? Okay, makes sense. So we're gonna we're gonna borrow it. Next up is we have our change here, and what we're gonna do with it. So I would say we're gonna match it first. Match change. All patterns. So there's now a cursor list and all cursors. So all cursors. Take the focus of all cursors. How does it work? The question is, what cursors are there? And how to change them. So we somehow need to be aware of all of them. Let's add a to-do. That's something platform specific I maybe want to do at some later point. Later point. Sure. Later point. To-do. Use a list of available cursors instead of currently registered ones. So what we gotta do is there's cursors. Let me say cursor self cursors occur. Actually, we just simply iterate mod it, and then we're gonna map it. Somehow I feel like we get a tuple out of this. What iterator do we get? Key and value. Yeah, feels like we get two things there. So item feels like a tuple. No, yeah, okay, no. Wait, it's a singular item we get there. So it has to be a tuple with key value. Do we need the key? Do we actually need it? Well, yes. We don't need the value, right? Actually... All cursors doesn't make sense. Or keyboards, because keyboards focus, not cursors. Keyboards are the one that focus it. Tab focusing, for example, is then a whole different story. I want to differentiate those. Actually, no. Keyboard focus. No, yeah, no, it stays focused. No, tab focus, not something. It's just keyboard focus. Okay, all keyboards. Makes sense. So list of available keyboards instead of currently registered ones. I think that's fair. Okay. Self cursor item mood map. And then there is like K. and the value. Okay, actually we don't need k, we just need the value. So actually let's call it CTX, because it is the context after all we care about. And then what we're gonna then do is right, we've gotta trigger unfocus. Let unfocus. Okay, weird. Unfocus event equals event. Widget event. Widget event on unfocus, and then there is focus. Focus event. Widget event on focus. So what we then do is we're gonna check if the context currently has a capture by widget. Not capture by widget. Keyboards, please. Focused widget. There we go. So the question is if there is already focused. If there is already a widget that is already focused, and if that is the case, we gotta do dude, stop it. Oh, and we need a LED there. I always forget the fucking LED. Always. Every single time. It's so annoying. I always forget it. Okay. Focus event. There you go. Hooray. Okay, and then outside of there, I then take the widget, get it, and do an on event for the widget event, which is in this case focus event. Something like that, I assume. Oh yeah, this here probably has to be borrowed. What's it's got complaint about? Focus event. On focus, unfocus event. Focus event, which is nice. Next, use a list of available keywords instead of currently registered ones. Yes. Okay. I think that's it for the all keyboards function. Let's continue with the cursor list. Here we actually need to capture the list, which we didn't provide there yet. Not ideal. Well, it is a widget we gotta return, so we want a vector. We need a vector. But we also need to call it list. Oh, it's right. It is not a structure. Can we make it a structure? It will be nice. U size. Does that work? Does it work? Seems to work. Great. There's our handle. Process reply. There we go. Okay. Cursor lists. We gotta do that a bit differently. There we go. Okay. So we got a list now, and we gotta iterate over those. Iterate over that list. Actually, shall we iterate or shall we map? We shall iterate. I think it's a bit neater that way. So cursor in list. Actually, let's do the same. I thought we need to map here, but we actually do not. So it's probably we do not. We change the context, yes, but we do not map it. So I guess it's neater if we go with the typical for each loop. For nothing CTX in there. Yep. The rest is the same, you know? Well, pretty much. Okay. Cursor in list. So, next up is we gotta get all we gotta get all the cursors and then change their focus accordingly. Not it's a keyboard list, not a keyboard list. Keyboard. And also I would like to extract this here as an inline function to help with it, because it's always the same. So this is popfn. Change focus. Mat self. Then we need device, essentially. Keyboard. Keyboard. Use size. Widget. Widget ref. Done. Widget. And in there, we just simply do this here pretty quickly. And context. Maybe we already got a keyboard event code context. Oh yeah. Impl keyboard event context. Change focus. And we can still have a change focus function here that just works a little bit differently. That then first tries to get the keyboard context. And for that we need a get keyboard context function. Get keyboard. Keyboard. Keyboard event. Keyboards. And missing field. Focused widgets is none. Okay, dokie. So keyboard get keyboard context is keyboard, and this here is police keyboard index. Oh shit. Keyboard index. There you go. Then we say self get keyboard context. And then we say keyboard change focus. Right. This one doesn't need keyboard anymore. This keyboard thingy here. So it just needs the widget, the new target widget. And it's done. Okay. Okay, process reply, blah 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 blah. Use a list of available keyboards instead of currently registered ones. Keyboards with MUT. Focus event. All keyboards. Widget focus change. Okay, so first of all this guy here, then just simply says CTX change focus widget. That should do the trick for him. Do we I mean, we do not have to consume it, right? So we can easily do that. Same as over there. We don't need. We don't consume the widget. Oh yeah. We then also say self dot focused widget. Also over here, this needs to be self. Changes to some widget. Oh, also, hold on. Actually, this gotta be a option widget clone. So that would be for the best. So we then also say if let finally widget do the widget magic. Use of moved value. Oh, but I've got to obviously borrow it. Okay, that's good. So that means change focus actually consumes the widget, which is fine. And yeah, also makes sense to make it not some option. Widget. So then we've got a process reply. Take a reference to widget, definitely a reference, because here since we looped over here, we would need to clone it anyway. Okie dokie. And focus. Done. Next up is this keyboard guy. And here we just simply take us directly and then we say change focus. And then it needs the keyboard. Though dereferenced and copied, cloned. And then it needs the widget. A clone of it. And marked as Zum, please. And semicolon. This is probably just a C-line issue again. Okie dokie. Good. Should work. Next. If let some change. And reply free focus. Gotta make an else if here. Free focus. That's a bit different, I assume, code-wise. Here we don't need that anyway, because it only matters for the widgets where that we have focused. So we iterate again over all keyboard contexts, and then we just say we're gonna get to we now have to get all the keyboards that capture this. Yeah, we're gonna check if this keyboard got focused by the widget that is asked to asked about being freed of the focus. Gosh, okay. So how do we do that? Well, I would say focused widget. Let me check if focused widget is the same as some widget clone. Actually, can we do that? No, we cannot. As ref. Okay, that works. Nice. And if it is the same, we have to remove it, obviously. So gotta do as focused. If as focused, we then say CTX focused widget none. We don't need a focus event, we just need the unfocus event, which we then trigger on this focused widget unwrap get on event unfocus event. Ta-da. Okay, and if we have a keyboard list, it then does this logic over there. Okay, actually, CTX self get keyboard context keyboard. Oh, why is this just a... There you go. Okay. So this you have now a process reply functionality, which right now we only add to our click event. So self.process reply widget, which is widget, and the reply. Click reply. But only oh right, that Yeah, no, okay, process reply. And we gotta simply rapid not even rapid. We gotta check if reply handled. Only then we do this stuff. We maybe do something else, even if it's unhandled, or only if it is unhandled. So I fully wrapped it here in a new if. Next, handle click. With that, we have now process reply and focus. Next up is handle key down and handle key up events. Pop FN, handle key down, and not self. Again, we don't have a do we have a widget path here? That's a bit tricky right now. No, we don't. There is only one widget that is eligible, and that is the focused widget. So we don't have a widget path, but we have a cursor index. Cursor in not a cursor index, but a keyboard index. Keyboard index. And we don't even have a position. We only need a keyboard index there. So, handle key down. What you gotta do is, well, check if there is a keyboard context and get it. So let's add a new function. Try get keyboard context. Add not self. Keyboard index. Use size. Then we got keyboard. Something keyboard. Funnily enough. Give me a second, guys. Okay. Okay, where were I left? Okay. So try get keyboard context returns a option of a borrowed keyboard event context, a mutable board event keyboard event context, and that returns self keyboards get keyboard index and found option keyboard event context. Is there a get mod? Seems like it. Okay. Good. Process a reply. Handle key down. So we got a keyboard index. So first of all, let's get keyboard context. First, let's get a keyboard context. Self get keyboard. Try get keyboard context this time, please. Because we don't want to create it if there is none. We don't need it specifically for anything important. So keyboard. So if let some keyboard ctx equals keyboard ctx, then do your job and do magical things. So handle key down. We then say keyboard context focused. We check if there is a focused widget. So if let some focused widget, because if there is a focused widget in the keyboard context, in the move, yeah, okay, let's borrow it. So if there is a focused widget, well then we want to obviously trigger the event. Focused widget, get on event, and then we got an event here. You know, by the way, since I'm a good old, I'm native Rust, not a native Rust, a native C++ian, every time I do this get here, I get a small little tick in my brain, like, oh, gotta check first if it's valid. Is it really valid? But thankfully, in Rust here, it's ensured to be valid, which is a great thing. Okay, anyway, on event, and then there we need the keyboard event. So let key down event, which then is a widget event, and then we get a on key down, and this is now our key down event. There you go. Key down. Handle key down. Very simple and very effective. Then there is handle key up. Key up event. On key up. Yeah, but what do you want from me there? I'm not sure how I should exactly. I prefer it this way. I don't want to extract it now. Can I temporarily ignore it? I don't want that. Okay. What happens if we leave it in? Do we get a warning or anything? Okay, so we got on key down, on key up here. And then there is one more event, which is handle text. On text. Text event. Text event. We don't even have endpoints for them yet. Not found in the scope. True.
Find your way into this wonderland. Cross the maze, the dark, the
there's the unfocus event. And here is the focus event. Okay, let's quickly go over there and implement the corresponding event. So here we got first a move, then here we got mouse input, and now down here we gotta do the keyboard. So what do we got here? Event, window event. Event is window event. So there are touch events. Moved mouse wheel. Oh, alright. Moved mouse wheel. There. Keyboard input. Keyboard input. Add missing fields. Do we need window ID? I guess. Window. There we go. That's what I wanted. Okay, device ID, input, and is synthetic. So now with this, there's not much we have to do. We just have to say event context, and then we say handle key down, depending. Oh, well, we gotta check if it is a down event or a up event. I fell asleep, but yeah, just gonna end my day here. So good night, Dracox, and thank you so much for tuning in. So okay, we got that now. We got the event loop window target. Blah blah blah. Don't need that. Window ID, keyboard input gives us a device ID, a keyboard input object, and is synthetic. Yeah. So let's check the input. Okay, there is the state. That's what I will actually care about. Because we've got to match that state. And depending on the match, we gotta do a key down or key up event. So handle key down. And it wants the keyboard index. Well, right now, there is only one kind. Like that. Self event context. Handle key up. 0. Okie dokie. Well then, let's go over to the test widget and see how it does. So, by the way, let's remove this here for now, and then we're gonna do add remaining patterns. So in here I gotta say println actually for now let's just don't do that. Then there's mouse button up, on key down, on key up, on text, on focus, on unfocus. Let's go with the focus. Right. This guy here returns reply handled take focus and widget focus change all keyboards. Gotta steely grab them. Then there is on mouse button down, on mouse button up, key down. So that's of interest. Println key. There is nothing yet, but later probably. down. Down 4. This is important. This is now our test name. Then there is key up. That's also, I would say, rather important. Key up for blah blah blah. And then there is on text. Println text for test name. Then there is println focused test name and println unfocused system name. The test widget is mainly a debugging widget here. Could also call it debug widget, right? What it's supposed to do should be clear by now. Okay, keyboard list, and that's the event itself, but there is no unfocus anymore. Let's steely grab it from over there. Okay, we need it here, so we need it before the match there. Okay, key up event. Up event. Then test name. Not a value. Oh, yeah, obviously. Duh. It's always self, lol. Okie move the context focused widget moved due to this method call. CTS focused widget unwrap. Move to unwrap. Get. Oh yeah, okay, so you wanted as ref unwrap get on event. Knew it. As ref unwrap get on event. First mutable borrow occurs here. Second mutable borrow occurs here. Where get cursor context? So all the way up there, and then process reply. First bar later used here. Cursor context about to be clicked. So I gotta override it over there. To be allowed to do so. that is. Just want to check something. There's a mirror more than once at a time. About to be clicked. That's a bit annoying. Not gonna lie, but I'm not sure how I should do that. I mean, I know how I could do it, but I want to make it as elegant as possible. Rust borrow in a let if Rust borrow still had an S block. Rust drop borrow. How to drop a borrowed reference? I want to manually drop it essentially. No, Reddit, shut up. For fuck's sake, Reddit. Can you please stop? I just want to... Dude! Shut the fuck up! I would have expected this to fail because Burrow's movement to drop, but it doesn't. I assume it has something to do with the fact that Burrow's has a borrowed reference. Incredible insightful question gives me a chance to clear up some misconceptions that seem to be floating around. The most important to understand is the Rust does not automatically move everything. We tried that, it was very restrictive and required the copy keyword everywhere and was awful. We also tried the opposite, where everything copied and you had to have the move keyword everywhere. This was also awful. In the end, we arrived at a compromise. Values are copied unless they happen to meet a set of criteria. Such values are known as implicitly copyable, and yes, we need to document it better. What things are not implicitly copyable? Mutable references. Anything that has a destructor, i.e. implements the drop trait. Anything that can be shared across tasks, i.e. implements the send trait. Is it still called that? I've been away for a while. Anything that is a container for any of the above, like a struct with a mud member. The probability isn't an exclusive list. Isn't an exhaustive list. Like I said, we need to document it better. Meeting any of the above criteria changes the semantics of the value from being copied to being moved. Sometimes we call these values pod or plain old data. Notably, this includes things that can be very large and expensive to copy. Oh, right. Now I get what they are talking about, and I fully understand, because I know that's... I've already worked with that stuff, so... Yeah. Okay. Now I get it. But there seems to be a drop function? So can I say... drop about 2. Okay, drop will with a reference argument. Dropping a reference does nothing. Eh? But I mean, I borrowed the string over and I then dropped the... I'm confused. Process reply, and then there is this about to be clicked in minute 16. Yes, and then there is the cursor context. I drop cursor context already over there. Borrow of cursor 310. Yes. Cannot move out of cursor context because it is borrowed. Oh, in the about to click. That's why. Okay. The problem is we borrow here the cursor event context, and then we borrow from it the option with a hash set in there, which we then use for this iteration here, and then we do, and then we process our reply there. Huh. But how can we then process the reply? We somehow need to process the reply how we wanted it to process. Handle clicky dick. How could we make this process reply easier? Can I... I mean, only thing I can do is kind of do something like that. Now it's getting weird. If let's reply be all of that here. Click reply. And then some click reply. Okay. If handled click and let's add let chains. I'm unstable. Then we don't need this here. And then we just have this map there. Okay, actually, hold on. Let's keep it like it was just now, because it seems like we have to do this here anyway, so we can also just directly put the handled click over there already. So handle clicked is then handled, and then we got the click reply, which we then process. There's probably some way to still do that. What does zip do? Oh, okay. Oh, okay, it's not zip. I mean, it's not. It's apparently not map, and it's not zip. Something like try map or something would be nice. Oh, and then yes, and then that's what I want to do. Knew it that there was a function for that. Okay, and click and process reply. And click the reply. So, which should do the job? Let's see. First borrow. Process reply. Dude, kidding me? Do it up, up. Do we do up, do. Gotta do it different then. None. If some about to clicked. If handled. That needs to be let. Then we gotta reply some. Actually, it's maybe better to do. Okay, then then map is better. Fuck. If you want to make reply mutable, then okay. What it was just now is fine. But if I want to make it const, then this here will be better. Okay, so we got now reply. We then just simply directly use the reply over there instead of doing this stuff. Maybe that works. See, we don't know yet. Parentheses wasn't closed. Why? How do you know that? Second mutable borrow. First borrow, later used. Why are we borrowing here something? Like, I gotta take the reply, and the reply is a structure, you know? It's a fully fledged structure. Why is there a borrow happening? Oh wait, hold on. Maybe about to be clicked. Well, we gotta drop it there. About to click and then. We cannot drop about to be clicked like that. Only if we move about to be clicked up there. Maybe then. This is so annoying, you know. Okay. So we will see mouse click. Okay. We don't have focus yet. Test widget. Random color. Return handle take focus. All keyboards. Okay, instead of all keyboards, keyboard list. Okay, actually, maybe a tuple is better in this case. I think in this case a tuple is more sensible. I mean, it's just out of the list. There's nothing to it. We don't need to have. We don't need to name it. Well, why should we need to name it? These feels more appropriate. Like that. Let's see. Okay, we focused it. Unfocused, unnamed, and focused test 2. Focused test 1, unfocused test 2. Okay, well, if I click somewhere else, I completely unhandled essentially. I maybe want to do an unfocus there. Because right now it's still focused essentially. So, yeah, you can see test 2 gets keyboard events. Down and up. Okay. So, we got the keyboard events now. So we got some basic focusing logic and we got the keyboards. Let's continue with the focusing logic for like clicking outside of it, like into like the default behavior of what happens if a click event doesn't get done. if handled click didn't happen. If no handled click. What I then want to do is I want to self handled click. I then want to say actually, instead of handled click, let's use our option reply. Or no, I mean, widget ref, then widget. So that's what should be in there. So none. The clue is this here has to be none, because if it is some, I'm gonna say some and we provide a widget there, a clone, I guess. I guess only a clone would work. With this handled click. Okay. So now with this handled click, we can then go down here and check if handled click. Actually, we got a match. Or actually, if handled click is none, or handled click unwrap is the same as, and now there is the mapping shit. Self get keyboard context 0 focused widget. Then self at keyboard ctx self try get keyboard context 0. So if keyboard ctx if let some keyboard no come on keyboard ctx keyboard underscore ctx equals keyboard underscore ctx. If that were the case, then we're gonna check if some handle click. Oh no, wait. Then we're gonna keep it like that. Or is focused widget keyboard ctx focused widget. Focused widget. Okay. And if it is the same, so if it is either handle click is none or the handle click is not equal to that, then we say keyboard context, change focus to none. Dum dum dum! Okay, so got a focus test to 1. Hello. Okay. Focus test 2. Wait, I'm confused. Focused test 2. Unfocused test 2. Why can I not focus test to 1? Focused, unfocused, unnamed. Focused, unnamed. Unfocused, unnamed. Okay, and why can I not click this guy here anymore? So generally clicking doesn't work on that guy anymore. That's not good if generally clicking on that guy doesn't work. Do I have to drop it now manually there? I don't think so, do I? Reply, optional reply. So I get the reply. Goes in there, some. Click the reply. And handled clicked only gets set to some. Click event is only possible if this here is none, but I obviously set it here to none. Set it here to some. Only happens if this is the if click reply here is the case. Let's see once more. Click. Confusion? I'm slightly confused though. Okay, to console. Yep. Oh, it's a and, though it should have been a or. Now, there we go. Focus test 2-1. Focus test. Unfocus test 2. Set. That's wonderful. So we got a simple keyboard focusing mechanism. And that's also, by the way, the end of the stream. So, yeah, then I would say thank you so much for watching. I hope yeah, so we did quite a bit. I explained a lot of things about what the plans are and stuff. I showed you how I implemented some different things. We did essentially a refactoring of the event system. We expanded upon better mouse button events. Like now we can differentiate between mouse button down, mouse button up, and we also have now keyboard events as well as keyboard focus and even a click event, which we didn't have previously. So quite a bit, I would say. Yep. And not sure what we will do next time. Maybe we're gonna play finally some game again. Just saying, but on Saturday there's Volpia stream. Duh. Maybe on Tuesday. I have now 2 weeks. No uni, which is pretty neat. But generally speaking, maybe next, maybe on Tuesday, maybe on Thursday again. Not sure. We will see. Maybe somewhere in between. I don't know. For now, I can just say it's very likely that I will continue on this here off screen. What I will do next? Not sure. Maybe adding finally some more parameters to the events. Maybe overworking a little bit the geometry system so it does the calculations a little bit better. So we can also pass like positions and stuff around. Yeah, or maybe if we maybe we start with some primitives. And yeah, something like that, which I hope will be neat. For now, everything that is left to say is thank you so much for watching, and I say bye bye. Scotty BS Wild Ride, welcome to the stream, and bye, I guess. Leave a follow if you want to, and if you haven't. And yeah, everything that's left to say is I was Konakoda and say bye bye until next time. And as always, keep coding!